The ISD process is a big process, but it's a very important tool. What it enables us to do is, instead of just starting with a blank slate for developing a training program, it gives us a framework, a consistent, predictable framework that we can use to guide our actions from the beginning all the way to the end. And through needs analysis, which of course is the first phase of it, it enables us to look at the end goal of the training. And if by beginning with the end in mind, everything is steered towards that. Everything is steered towards that eventual completion of what you were hoping to accomplish. So the ISD process gives us that framework, that predictable framework, to help us do that. It helps focus, it helps structure your thinking, and it helps you to limit what you intend to do. If you start with no model, no idea of how you're going to approach it, you start with a blank slate, you can get paralyzed. It's really difficult to understand how even to start. But the ISD process provides a predictable, more or less a predictable model that you can follow to help you achieve your goals. Well, the first stage, of course, is the analysis phase. To me, that is absolutely critical. If you don't do a good needs analysis, you may as well not even try to go any farther. The needs analysis is absolutely fundamental to starting the process, because what happens there is you identify the training need. You ask all the right questions. First of all, you determine whether training is even needed. Sometimes things that look like training issues wind up being policy issues or discipline issues or things like that, things that can be explained or rectified with a sign or with a written document. So first of all, you determine whether training is even appropriate. Then you talk with leadership, and you kind of work your way down. You talk with leaders, you talk with course supervisors, instructors, and you work your way down to try to define what the actual need is. In terms of a language program, need is going to be determined by what sorts of communication requirements are levied on the people that you're hoping to train. So that needs analysis begins everything, and it absolutely informs the entire process. As you move into the design phase, if the analysis phase is to ask the question, where do we need our students to be? What do we need our people to do? The design phase is to identify where we are today and help you figure out how to get from there to where you want to be. The design phase then is a broad framework where you look at some instructional strategies, you look at some testing strategies. You can even write the test as part of the design phase. In fact, that's what the Air Force typically mandates, is that you write the test to the greatest extent possible during the design phase. You move on then to the development phase, which is the actual writing of a course, the writing of a curriculum. That's where the rubber meets the road, in essence. It's also where you try out materials with students, either in a formative setting where you just do informal classroom tryouts, or in a more summative, a more formal setting where you do a formal validation of the materials. Implementation kind of feels like the end of the road, where the materials are fully operational and in use, but the evaluation phase, the final phase of the ISD process, is something that is threaded throughout. There's evaluation at every step. As you design, you're constantly evaluating to see whether it matches with your needs analysis. As you develop, you're constantly evaluating to see whether it matches your design and your analysis. And even when you implement, the evaluation doesn't end there, because once it goes through generations of students, you're then able to gather feedback on how effective the class has been, how effective the graduates have been once they go on to other things. So that evaluation kind of ties it all together.